Welcome, everyone, to the morning of Thursday, November the 13th, 2025. And we are back at it. I have so much information to share all the time just from what the perps are doing. I can create my own channel based on my targeted stalkers and their behavior. I wouldn't have to steal any information from any other YouTuber as far as content or anything like that. Of course, it's always nice to hear how somebody else interprets things, the terminology for things, how to describe, that other people are going through the same kind of madness. But the other day, I did not make this video, which I was too busy. And once I tell you what I did, uh, it, you'll understand. I had to spend a lot of time documenting stuff that I uh, it, I have a skincare business on the side, which of course was sabotaged through the smear campaigns, and at the very same time of my divorce. Interestingly enough, phone lines hacked, da 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 da, and you guys all know who's behind that. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So what happened was, I used consumable goods, those products. And it took me a long time. When I first met my ex, I had acne breakouts. And that was, oh gosh, let's see, I graduated high school in 95. I was back in that time period. And I tried everything. I tried all sorts of products. And I had discovered, Mary Kay. And here, I was like, no, I'm not using that. Da, da, da. Well, long story short, I've used that product for 25, 26 years now, something around there, around the year 2000, maybe a little before that. So my skin had cleared, like it had gone pretty good. But I get the occasional breakout, da da da. Well, lately, and I stay pretty healthy. I don't have to go to the doctors very often. And there's this face rash that I've developed, which is on both sides of my cheeks pretty much. It kind of flares and then it disappears. And I have had smells in my house, like really bad smells, like bacterial or fungal smells. I mean, I've had chemical smells, like the fuming is, I guess, what they call it. I've had to listen to other people's channels to hear how they describe these types of abuses, but I knew that they were happening. Okay. So one of the things that they've been doing, and I noticed that they were doing, only I looked at it from a whole different viewpoint. I just thought that the prostitutes are breaking in with the CIA guys, whatever, and they are stealing my products or using my products and contaminating my mascara, my cheek color, my foundation, whatever it is, and, and or swapping it. Okay. And then I started to notice stuff that I was like, and I do things fast. I live in a fast paced world. I still have children. I have, that are younger. I have a full-time job. I'm very active. I'm, athletic. I'm this. So I've got my hand in all sorts of pies, if you will. So when I get ready, it's fast. When I do this, it's fast. When I look at this, it's fast. And I needed to slow down. This is the first piece of advice to any kind of target that is going through this right now. Slow down. The anxiety will get extremely bad. The emotions will run. I mean, you'll never cry so many tears. And this is just part of it. And when they ramped this stuff up, they were already running the full-blown PsyOps campaign in every arena. So it wasn't just my stalking. I'm just making a correction for anybody out there who is misunderstanding this. It's not just the Three's Company neighbors or the surrounding neighbors. Okay, it is a full-blown tyrannical upset. Okay, it's not Okay, it's not just one little piece. It's not just, trust me. So the way that they're gaslighting me through this cosmetic thing, okay, I just thought, okay, well, maybe they're doing this. Maybe they are, maybe they are stealing it, replacing with the dated stuff and putting it on eBay or Amazon and actually making a profit off of stolen goods. Now, this is a reason why the company does not like people to sell the product outside of, I mean, this is a business opportunity for women, and for women to have a successful career life based off of having an independent, contracting business. So this is how bad they're doing this. Some products all products have a day code. Okay, they have a 6-digit number and they have a 4-digit day code. The day code is usually imprinted on the actual product, not on the box. Sometimes on the box, but mostly it's on the actual item. Okay, and this tells the expiration date in code. Okay, now um, I think B I think B represents 2022. So I'm sorry, it's not an expiration date, it's a shelf life date, which gives it approximately 3 years. So B represents, I think it's 2022, but you'll get the picture. And it's a 4-digit code. Well, I have these little blushes, these little cheek colors that are mineral cheek colors. And they have an outer container, and the outer container has the 6-digit code along with the 4-digit code. And here I am putting my blush on every day and I'm getting these breakouts. And I'm like, okay, do I have this kind of affection? Do I have this kind of, what in the heck is going on? I'm a pretty clean person. Like, what are they doing to me? What are they doing when they break in? I mean, I know that they're probably filthy, disgusting scumbags when they're breaking into your house, right? And littering it with things. There are experts out there in the TIA community. If you go to Targeted Justice, and I apologize, I cannot remember this woman's name, and or the name that she gives to satanic dirtying of the house. But they will sprinkle dirt through your house, and you can buy these little like lights that you can shine on stuff in your house to see where it might be soiled. Pretty gross, right? But this is what they do. This is why cleanliness is next to godliness. And I mean, my mother always instilled that in me to keep a clean house. So did my grandmother and my great grandmother and everybody I've learned from was to keep a clean house. And I prided myself on this. But I started noticing that weird things were happening. And then my house was getting destroyed. The floors were coming up. Somebody had just basically ripped apart my entire downstairs basement. All the tile floors came up, and the laminate flooring, and the door was broken, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so anybody who thinks that I just have some neighborly stuff going on, I mean, no, this is bigger than that. But let's get back to the makeup. So these cheek colors, they have an outer case that has that 4-digit code, but and on the back of the actual, how would you call it? It's just a little rectangular uh, mineral color that I would lift out of the plastic container that closes, and I'd look on the bottom of it, and lo and behold, the 4-digit codes don't match up, which means that that product did not come in that outer packaging. And what happened was the outer one had a C on it, so it had a little bit longer shelf life. The inner one had a B, started with a B. And so did some of my other products. And I had mentioned in one of my other videos that I had just ordered several new products. This is a whole different item. It's the same product, but it's a different shade. And this had happened. That they had stolen those. And what they did with the other one was they actually pulled it from the trash and stuck it back into my clean product shelf that I use daily. So they have contaminated it to the point where I almost don't even want to, like, I am a cosmetic wearing person. I just am. And they've almost made it to the point where they're either trying to tell me, well, you won't be doing this for long because you're going to be homeless, because this is what they're doing. They are trashing my life in every single way. They are taking. It's financial abuse. It was sexual abuse. It's gaslighting abuse nonstop. It's psychological torture, emotional abuse. I mean, let me count the ways, right? Stalking, nonstop stalking everywhere I go, even in my own home, I'm being surveyed um, everywhere. Stalking, harassment, smears, you name it. Full blown. This isn't just the neighbors. I mean, I'm just just making that clear. But yeah, so what I had to do, I mean, I went all the way through the night. You know, it's getting dark at around 5 o'clock here now. I was up past dark just documenting all the products, all the ones I threw away. I mean, we broke them. We broke them in half. If they were old eyeliners that were expired or empty, broken, just snapped in half. Done. You're not going to be able to replace that, are you? Documented. Another thing I suggest to TIs, I know it is a pain in the ass. If when somebody finds me dead, I mean, they're gonna have books and books of stuff to go through. That's probably gonna be a lot of rambling, disheveled notes, because you can only speak this stuff. You can't even speak it fast enough. But you definitely can't write it down fast. You couldn't type it fast enough. You couldn't write it fast enough. You can't even speak it fast enough. Document. But I had to, not only do I take inventory for business, but I had to separate and make separate inventory for the stuff that I'm being gaslighted with, because there is more than one item that these people have swapped, taken the fresh product and left the old dirty stuff that was thrown in the trash, or empty stuff. And God only knows if it's contaminated or not. And I'm picking up somebody's herpes infection or something from I've heard from other TIs that prostitutes break in and use your cosmetics, your jewelry, your clothing, etc. So I'm just putting that out there. Now, I mean, I realize for those of you who are listening who don't have the slightest clue what's going on, this is a lot for you. Trust me, it's a lot for me too. It's a lot to go through every single day. There is something called CPTSD, and that's what happens. So I'm going to go eat my breakfast, but I wanted to mention this, that here is the warning to the intruders. Don't bring it back in because it's already documented. More than one person has seen it. More than one person knows it's been thrown out. It is documented. I know what you're doing. You've done this more than one time. And then what they're doing is they're swapping it. And when I'm in a hurry and I throw a moisturizer on, oh, I didn't realize this was outdated. Might be contaminated. It might not be safe for me to use. Like I said, I am a regular consumer of this stuff for 25 years. Like, I use it daily. I am a regimented skincare user. That's just, I mean, it's like a religion. So the products they would be fresh that I'm using, because I rotate the shelf, and the stuff that I use, it's consumable. So it's, I'm using it up, then I'm getting a new one. Then I'm using it up, then I'm getting a new one. And they're fresh because they're ordered frequently enough that they're on the shelf. And these people have done that with um, those cheek killers that you could make for two different dates. Now I wonder. I've had other people in the area who I think were part of my original gang stalking and torture who have offered to, hey, if you want to sell your business, my friend will take it. So I guarantee that there's some really bad women who are breaking in and doing this stuff. So I can't imagine men would want to dabble in makeup and do this stuff, but who knows? But don't bring it back because we're already on to you. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, and then there's just a whole other medical side of this that's just causing there isn't something that that is actually making it go away because it's resurfacing over and over again. Like I said, as soon as I fix one problem with the mascara side of things, then it's a cheek killer. And I realize that anybody listening who doesn't really understand this would be like, well, then just don't use the product. Well, why wouldn't I be allowed to? It's my house, it's my product. Why don't we put the criminals in jail who are breaking into the house, right? Even if it's the neighbors next door, even if it's Three's Company, I think that they'd all look good tied up in chains, don't you? Anyway, last piece of advice here, and I'm going to stop yapping. If you now, this doesn't always work out either, but if you do online ordering, I did just recently replace some things in my house because I got all crazy paranoid about what's going on with the skincare that I started replacing my other products in the house that we use to treat wounds or, products that I might think might have a scent in them that I'm using to clean the house with, et cetera, et cetera. I've just been kind of slowly swapping things out for things that are less harmful to my health or ingredients that I suspect I might have developed an allergen to or expired dates. This is what the perps will do with groceries. Doesn't matter whether it's canned goods. It doesn't matter whether it's baking stuff. I've had my baking stuff stolen and then replaced after I go buy it. Because I bake this time of year for Christmas. I do cookies, especially for people that I work with. I like to do cookies. But here's what they'll do. They will steal it. And then when you buy new stuff to replace it, they'll bring the other stuff back. And sometimes when they bring the other stuff back, it is old. Canned goods 2021, 2022, 2023. This is what they do. And then you can't use it. You can even donate it to a food pantry if you wanted to. Pretty sad. So I do some online ordering, which you got to be careful with that because somebody is actually picking your groceries for you. And they can pick as in alternate homesteading, Lorraine, she's a TI. She shows her pear in one of her videos and how spoiled it is that somebody had given her in her grocery order. Now, this is the problem with having people. I received a avocado that was like jumbo, and my kids were like, "Mom, that's not a good thing. That's like a oh, what did they call it? Like a fake fruit. They used a word anyway, because it was too big to be like too good to be true. So it wasn't necessarily what I really wanted. I thought I was getting something good, but no, not really. So if you do online ordering, which has its pluses and minuses, but if you have to go into the store and you're heavily gang stalked, that can be pretty triggering too. I just try to kind of laugh and, just make light of it, pretend I'm Mary Poppins, going through the store, just try to be, just try to have that positive vibe and mentality going so that you don't attract the negative energies to you, is what I'm trying to say. Just light and fluffy. But if you do the online ordering, you can have a record. It's easier to keep track of the receipts because you have an electronic receipt of this, even though I'm probably more of a paper gal. But it's harder to keep track of those receipts because I've had those stolen too and needed to return things before around the holidays that were just too many crafty things or something that I bought. but somebody had stolen them. I think it was somebody that I was dating at the time. But you never know who it was. But sometimes they'll resurface after the fact. So paper receipts not as good. The electronic receipt. Now, then again, if you have your cyber bullies and your stalkers there, your cyber perps, you might have a problem. But you could always keep both records. I know it's a lot. You would have to make a full-time job out of that. You'd never be able to do anything else. But online ordering, you can at least go in and be like, oh, I remember I did buy a new one then. And check the dates as soon as you bring it home before you restock your shelves to make sure that the store gave you a good date yesterday. I ended up calling to check on some dates from 2 different companies just to make sure that the items that I purchased yesterday were on the up and up. And they have shelf lives. So they were just made a few months ago, which is interesting, right? But they have a shelf life that is 2 years past that date. So keep in mind that you might want to start looking at those kind of things, because if I just kind of educate you and let you know that if you are, I wanted to say butchered, but that's not quite the right word. If you are hanging on to your life from the gang stalkers trying to, I like the word unalive you, you might experience this. And so if you start thinking, because the whole gaslight abuse of it is what plays with the mind, right? The cognitive dissonance of it. So if you are aware ahead of time, then you will know, aha, it's not me that's going crazy. Somebody is actually doing this. Just sick. All right, on to the day. Good luck with yours, and feel free to check out my channel. Subscribe if you like it, and I will see you in the next one.